Yo, what up, people? Cobra Star Green back with y'all with another video today. Look, you guys first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, let the video really does help. Yes, today we're gonna be doing our review on the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Yes. I know it's a little weird title, but we're gonna get into this movie. Now, if you guys did not know, this is actually off of another trilogy, as you guys see right here, the other three movies, Planet of the Apes. Guys, if you haven't, definitely check these out if you haven't. But if you haven't, well, I'm gonna talk about the new one. So let's get into it.
Probably you, we got a problem, 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 it's probably you, yeah, we got a problem, we got a problem, we got a problem, we got a problem, we got a problem.
One of the questions that kind of circle around this movie is, do you have to see the other three movies to understand this one? Yes and no. Personally, me, I kind of forgot some things in the old one. So I think I kind of walked in with somewhat of new eyes, and I was still able to understand a lot of things that were going on in this movie. Now, if you are a fan of the old trilogy, then yes, they have a lot of callbacks to the old trilogy, especially Caesar. This movie kind of circles around Caesar. If you guys know who Caesar is, he was in the old films, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think you have to watch the old trilogy to understand the new one. So if you're coming in with fresh eyes, you'll be fine watching this one. So let's get into this movie. And the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to this film is actually the director of this film, which is named Wes Bell. I've actually really enjoyed some of his catalog. He has one of my favorite movies of all time, which is The Maze Runner. Now, if you guys have not seen The Maze Runner, get off this video and go watch The Maze Runner. The Maze Runner, at least the first one, is amazing. The other two, they up for debate, but that first one is legendary. So he's the director of this film, and I remember some people online were kind of like skeptical about it because they've seen a lot of his previous work and they're like, ooh, I don't know. Well, I'm here to tell you guys, at least when it comes to the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, he was in his bag. So let's talk about it. And the one thing about these movies in this franchise is there's not a bad movie. And you can add this one to the plate. I don't know. This has got to be one of the most consistent franchises out there when it comes to just good effects, good writing, good characters. Like every movie has it in this franchise, and this one is no different. The thing about these movies is that you're able to just be able to get an emotional connection with these apes, with these humans. You're able to see it from all sides. And like I said, this movie is no different. So first thing I want to talk about is the plot of this film. And pretty much in this one, many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he has been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. Now, if you guys don't know too much about this franchise, look, before you walk in, these apes are gonna be speaking English. Yes, this is a world where apes speak English. That's the world that this is kind of built in off of. And I'm actually glad it's kind of put that way because who would want to sit there watching a movie where a bunch of apes are just doing sign language the entire movie? So I'm like, thank God. I've always thought that. Thank God they speak English. But really quickly, when it comes to these characters, look, these characters are written so well. And the thing I really like about the writing with this movie is that these characters are very consistent. Like how they are in the beginning of the movie, that is how they're finishing. There's nothing these characters do that is completely like out of left field. Like I said, these characters are written consistently. They're not gonna fall off the tracks that they were put on. I think that's one of the most things I enjoyed the most about this film. A bunch of great voice acting from everybody that voiced all the apes. Everybody did great. There's a lot of names, so I ain't going through all the names, but I'm just gonna tell you guys, they all did phenomenal, great voice acting. So there is two characters I kind of want to talk about really quickly. The first one is Maeve. Maeve is the main human girl we meet halfway throughout the film. And the reason why I want to talk about her is because her acting to me, and she's very young, but her acting to me was very stellar. It was great because she wasn't speaking a lot in the first half of the movie. She doesn't really talk until like the later half. And in that first half, a lot of the acting is with her face, her facial expressions, her emotions. That is displayed in the first half of the film. And I thought that's where she excelled. I was like, wow, we don't know much about her, but we can kind of understand her and her personality through her emotions, how she is through her expressions. So that's why I really liked her character. Now, and the other character I want to talk about is a character named Rocka. Now, you meet Rocka probably like 30, 45 minutes into the movie, and he was by far my favorite character of the movie. Now, the reason why he's my favorite is he is the one that really brings in the comedy. It's some ways you kind of wouldn't even expect him to bring in the comedy, but he just balances the film so well. And played by Peter McCon, I think that's how you say his last name. And the voice acting from him alone was just so good. Now he's not in the entire film, but the part of the film that he's in, I thought he was great. I think the scenes he was in kind of carried it. But I'll just say, from all actors, voice acting was perfect. It works because you kind of have to like stop your speech for a little bit, and you have to really think about an ape. You have to really try to become an ape. And I thought every actor in this movie excelled at doing that job. And I'll just tell you, this environment, this world that we're actually brought into, it's just glorious to look at. One thing you gotta praise these movies about is just the effects, the CGI. In the other movies, we praised them on how well they were done, and I'm praising them in this one. All the apes, the whole world just looks real. It looks beautiful. It's like you're looking at it and you're like, wow, this is CGI, but it don't look like CGI. Like, I know in today's day, CGI is getting worse and worse and worse, but I feel like when it comes to the Planet of the Apes, they exceed all expectations when it comes to CGI nowadays. I mean, that's pretty much why the budget of the films are so big, is because of the CGI that they have to put into these characters. I think the best parts of the movie are the parts that center around the apes. Like the first 40, 50 minutes of the movie, whatever, I didn't have a stopwatch, but it doesn't center around any humans. It's just apes the entire time. And I think that's the best part of the film. When it's just apes and you see apes having their own problem with other apes, and it's just pretty much this whole entire ape story, I think that's where the movie excels. I'm not sure why my green screen just went out, but another positive. These movies get you attached to these apes. I'm telling y'all sit there, y'all watch it, you get so invested into the lives of these apes. Their lives have went up, their lives have went down. You know, you see everything throughout all these movies, and this movie is no different. And I'm watching it, and I'm damn near getting teared up at some of the stuff that they have to go through. You know, it hits me because it's like, dang, will this really happen in real life? I mean, some of it kind of does. So it just has me thinking a lot, and it works for the movie. Man, I feel for these apes more than the humans in this movie. Now, yes, there is humans in this film. Well, it's actually like 2, but if we really be technical, there might be a little bit more, but that's for you guys that have seen the movie. But there's not, what I mean to say is there's not a lot of humans in this film. And I think it works. I wish it was completely without humans in this one. That's the one thing I wish. I really wish watching this movie that there was no humans at all. It's like when I want to watch a Transformers film. I don't want no humans in my Transformers films. I just want straight Transformers. And that's kind of the same way with these Planet of the Apes movies. Because the writing was so well done when it comes to the apes that you don't want to see nobody. You don't want to see these humans in these movies. Now, these humans add another element when you watch the film because, okay, now you got the ape side and now you got the human side. And I think it works in some parts. And in other parts, I feel like it kind of starts to drag. And I'll talk about that later. But I'll just say the story, how it was written, was so well done in this film. And another thing really quickly that I will give this movie a positive for is that, look, I might get some blowback for this, do not care, but I really understood the villain of the film's point of view. Watching it, I'm like, you know, he's kind of got a good point here. And I get it. Not everyone's going to agree with that statement, but that's just something when I was watching the film, I was like, I can see his point of view. Now, I do want to talk about some of my complaints just a little bit. I feel like the first half of this movie is a lot stronger than the second half of this film. Let me talk about it. So, like I said, the first half of this movie is just pretty much just you getting the whole ape story. And I think that's where the movie strives. That's where the movie is the strongest because you're not focusing on anything outside. You're just focusing on these apes. And like I said, that first, hour, I think is really tight and really well done. I think when the movie kind of starts to dip just a little bit is when you get the humans. It's not that the movie becomes bad, it's just the movie kind of like differs a little bit. Now, let me explain. So, you get introduced to this character named Maeve. And Maeve's a human character that she's different. I'll just say, I won't spoil anything. She's just different than a lot of other humans. But when she gets introduced into the film, it's just pretty much another angle we had to look at. And I was like, dang, I was so focused on this angle right here, now I have to focus on this other angle right here that just isn't as strong. I'll just leave it at that. And I think in the second act, I don't think the pacing is very well established in that second act. I'll just say that because like, there's a huge, big third act, but that second act is just there's some pacing issues in there. But look, all in all, I had a blast watching this movie. I'll just say, look, the writing isn't as strong in this one compared to the other ones, but you will still have a really great time watching this film. Look, I had to drive 30 minutes to go see this movie early. And did I regret it? No, I actually really enjoyed this film. This is definitely probably gonna be in one of my top 10 movies of the year. It's already up there right now. And I think once I see it again, I'll be able to appreciate it more for what the movie is. So for today, I'm gonna give the movie an 8 out of 10. It's definitely a great blockbuster film. Is it as good as the other three? No, I don't think so. The other three were just so strong. The other three are very hard to beat. But this one, look, for a blockbuster film, you will enjoy your time in the theater. You watch it, you're with your family, with your friends, whoever, you will have a good time watching this movie. And I'm not even like the one that really wants to compare it to the other ones. I think you just need to watch this with some fresh eyes. Yes, think about the other ones, but come into this one with your eyes cleansed. You know what I'm saying? Just appreciate this movie for what it is, and you'll really enjoy it. Like I said, I had to drive 30 minutes to go see this movie, and I enjoyed it. So I think you will too. Yo, but you guys first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button. Also the video, tell me you got thoughts, complaints, criticism, stuff like that down below. And hey, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.